Okay, so what we've done now, we've just added a extra track into our video, and what we're going to try and do now is we're going to do two parts. We're going to add a backing track to our video, and also I'll show you how you can lower the volume of your individual video pieces. And this is really important because what we want to do, we want to make sure that our backing track is still being heard throughout the whole video, and there's not too much excessive noise. Otherwise, it gets really, really difficult for people to be able to hear it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on my FIFA 20 video. Okay, I'm going to make sure this is played at the start. And at the moment, I've just lowered the volume just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so all I have to do is just click on here, and it lowers the master volume like when it's being played. But if I click on play, okay, so what it's going to do, it's going to be quite loud. So what I'm going to try and do for you is I'm going to try and make sure that these sound files underneath here are going to be lowered a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit easier to hear. So what I need to do first, on your computer, it might not come up the first time straight away, but if you click on View, go to where it says Filters, this button at the bottom will pop up. I'm going to click on the plus sign. Okay, so with this, it adds all my different video, audio, and my time filters. For the time being, we're sticking with audio for now. Okay, so I'm going to click on audio just to double check I've got it. I'm going to click on where it says gain and volume. So if I double click on there, I've got this little widget over here. So at the moment, it's going right close to being full volume. Okay, so all I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the blue button. I'm just going to lower it down just a little bit. Okay, so if I click on the plus button, that will add it now to that track. So if I click on plus, it adds it to my video. So we go back to play it, ends up being a little bit quieter. Okay, so it just makes it a little bit quieter, and that's really important because we need to make sure that when we have our video, the music in the background can still be heard. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just going to flick over to a website called Bensound. And Bensound is absolutely brilliant for adding royalty-free music, and that means there's no copyright whatsoever, and you can use these for your own personal productions as well. Okay, so on bensound.com, what I would like to have, I would like to have a little bit of a really upbeat kind of music. So what I'm going to pick is just going to be electronica. Okay. I can test out any kind of song that I really want. So this one looks like a really good one over here. And remember, my video itself needs to be 3 minutes maximum. So I can't use something that's going to be around about, say, 5 or 6 minutes. I want something within that 3-minute time scale. So I'm going to click on this video over here, or this play button. Okay, so what it does, it plays it in the background for us just so we can try it out. And if I'm happy with it, the ones that I can use, they say download. For the ones you need to pay for, you need an account for that one. So we'll stick with the ones with a black button where it says download. So if I click on there, I go to where it says download, and it will pop up in my bottom left-hand corner. For you guys, it might come up in the top right-hand corner over here. Okay, so what I just want to do, just double check to make sure that's right. Okay, so it's playing that music. So what I want to try and do, that has been sent to my downloads folder now, and I'm going to try and add it to this right underneath over here. I want to try and add it to my backing track. There are two ways of doing this, but I'm going to show you the way that you've already learned. So I'm going to go to Open File. I know for a fact this is in my downloads folder. So I've got this one called Endless Motion, which I just downloaded a few moments ago. I'm going to go to Open. And as before, it plays it just to make sure it's testing. I'm going to add it to my playlist. I'm going to click, drag, and drop underneath. So it ends up being my audio track. Okay. So if we go back and play from the very, very start, what it will do, it will play this video on top with our audio in the background. Okay, so One last part, what I can do, if I'm not particularly happy with some parts of my music track and I want to try and lower them down a bit, I would use the same method that I did earlier, but I would be able to pick out particular areas of my music track I just want to keep lowered. So here, for my control video, if I just go back over here, so my control video, I would like this part to be a little bit quieter so I can hear the main part in the video. So what I need to do, I've got my audio track already selected. I click on the split tool again. Okay. And then for this one, same again, I just go to my filter. So I'm going to click on my filters again. I'm going to add a sound filter to it. So just this one part over here. I'm going to go to gain and volume. I'm going to have a little bit lower this time. So I'm going to have it around about here. I'm going to add this in. Okay, so when I play it, it shouldn't be as loud. Okay, so we've had a little bit of a problem right there, and that's to do with this part over here. Okay, because there is a big jump in between. If I highlight my mouse just over it, my cursor, it comes up with a little bit of a flashing dot. If I click on that flashing dot and drag it to the side a little bit, to the right-hand side, what it does, it adds something called fade. And fade's really useful for it because if we go back and play it, it will go for this volume and then jump into this volume. So I could do exactly the same thing for this part of my audio clip and have it so it fades out and then fades back in. So if I go to the start of my video, you'll hear it quiet in the background. And then it gradually increased. Okay, so gentlemen, what I would like to try and do is try and have a little bit of a play around with it. Try and add a couple of audio tracks in between, and as a little bit of a bonus as well, what I've got is a second website if I've got over here, and this is all about adding sound effects into our site. Okay, so this is for a little bit more of a challenge, and you need to add an extra audio track onto this one. You can't add to the same audio track you just made. So what I would like to do, if I just have one particular sound effect, I can search through on here. I've got this one here, or I can go for this one. Okay, and once I'm happy with that, I just click on here. It will play it within the background again, and I click on where it says MP3. So it's going to download an MP3, just an audio file. Same again, it will download over here for me. It should download in the top right-hand corner for you. And I'm going to add that to my video. So I'll need an audio track, a new audio track. So I'm just going to add this one underneath. As we have over here, we've got our sound effects, which I'm going to call sound effects. And same again, I'm going to add this in. So this is already in my downloads folder. It plays it just to make sure you got the right one. Okay, I'm going to click on playlist. I'm going to add this in. Click drag and drop. Okay, so that's already in there. So it's a little bit long for me. I only want it to be just over this part over here. I'm just going to trim it down a little bit more so it matches up. There we go, that should do. And if we play it, it should play in the background. Okay, so that is a combination of the kind of things you're doing within this lesson. So give this a little bit of a try. If it doesn't work straight away, it's always worth to have a little bit of a check and a little bit of a do-over. You can feel free to check these videos at any point as well. Your teacher should be able to share these over to you upon Microsoft Teams. Best of luck to you. I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of videos you can create.